Think! Think! Think, grapefruits! Think! Liar! You liar!
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel. John here, sounding just like horse shit. But the content is real, so get ready for it. I'm going to start the show off. I'm going to do probably just the 30 minutes and spare what little voice I have, make sure I'm good for tomorrow and the next day and so on and so forth. I want to start off with one topic. Man, and I discussed it very briefly today with, again, trying to save my voice. It has to do with them. Who are they? Who are the evil bastards? Folks, the people that are evil hide behind whatever group is the apparent possessors of power. Sometimes they truly are the possessors of power, but they hide behind them. In the 1770s, specifically in 1776, the real Illuminati under Adam Weishaupt tried taking over Freemasonry because they were a powerful group. Every powerful Muslim, like the Arab sheikhs, they screw everyone they can sexually. They screw everyone they can in business. They lie, cheat, steal, murder, and kill. Doesn't matter that they're Muslim, but to say all Muslims are the same, put them in there. It's the evil that's the wrong with the system. The Jews, right? Whether it's the fake Khazar Jew story or all media is Jews, or it's the evil Jews in charge. They're claiming Jew as a way to hide, to protect themselves. They're claiming it as a way to exalt themselves. They're looking always to blame and leave a scapegoat party. It's not the Jews. It's not the Muslims. It's not the Freemasons. It's not the Catholics. Like the current Pope is a communist piece of trash. Are all Catholics bad? No, it's not the Catholics that are the bad ones. It's evil. It hides everywhere. It uses everyone's. Its purpose is to divide and cause war, conflict, strife, murder, death, loss, etc. Wake up. My job here is to get people to see what's going on. Not the tiniest of details, but to get a broad picture of how screwed up the system is and get prepared. Not only get food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense, and a plan. Get trained with tools. Learn to cook with the food. I put out a video yesterday, or rather I posted a video about expired food. How, look into how to eat and deal with food that's expired. We're going to have troubles, folks. How bad, I don't know. Where are you at? Doesn't matter. It's going to be bad everywhere. Get trained. Become aware. Understand that evil is evil. It's not skin color. It's not religion. It's none of that shit. It has everything to do with who the person is you're dealing with. And you need to get good at identifying shyster, scumbag, lying, sneaky sacks of shit, regardless of any of these things. Understand. I've met plenty of Christians who are lying, stealing, thieving sacks of shit. And here we go. Into the stories. Put your comments down below, but I'm not going to be doing questions today unless it is huge and pertinent and Uman convinces me I need to answer it. So keep an eye out for those types of questions, Mr. Uman. Another mass shooting occurred at University of Las Vegas. Students were ordered to run, hide, or fight. Are you fucking kidding me? That's the advice they give them? It's about as bright as shelter in place, which means sit there and do nothing. Reminds me of the videos I saw of people hiding in the bathrooms in Israel, waiting for the terrorists to come in and shoot them all, which they did. Now, run, hide, fight. Let's see, in the military, it was take cover, conceal yourself, destroy the enemy. Not always in that order, but have these students been trained by the school? Well, not everyone can run. Just ask the fat asses, the cripples, and everyone else. Old like me with bad knees, we're not going to run too far. But fight. If they're telling you you need to fight and that's an option, better get prepared and get the correct tools. It's a little bit of common sense stuff, but yeah. just waiting around for a shooter to get you. I guess they're deciding that, my friends, is not a good way to be prepared for trouble. I want to thank Mr. Skylight and many of you other folks out there for sending me information. Dr. Peter McCullough continuously comes up in my news feeds, emails, suggestions, etc. He says, hey, there is a pneumonia outbreak in China. Apparently, China's not doing much about it. A lot of people are starting to get, pandemic fear. I do not have cerveza bug. I can taste, smell, as well as hear, touch, and see. Right? I haven't lost any of those. I just got a cold, and I haven't had a cold like that get me this much in, I don't know, 6 years, 7 years. It's been a while, but it got me. It's not COVID, but is there a pneumonia in China that's breaking out? I guess we'll find out. Stand by. Are you going to wear your mask? If they tell you, you think that's going to save you? Right? You can't hold your breath forever. You got to breathe. And once you breathe, you take in that junk. Having a strong immune system is important, folks. Look out, though. Let's keep an eye on this Chinese pneumonia and see if it's just another scare tactic or what. Now, I want to touch on the fruit salad fruitiness that's going on in this country. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, idiot extraordinaire, has decided to weigh in on transgender men in women's sports and says that, hey, if you stop these trannies from playing in women's sports, then women athletes are going to be subjected to genital examinations. She said that as if genital examinations is as bad as being raped or sexually assaulted, like transgender men do to women very, very frequently. The stories are in the news. Now, to say AOC is an idiot is stating the obvious. I know, thank you very much. But allow me to explain. Women already have genital exams, pap smears, etc., regardless of whether it's sports, right? Sports, everyday life, health, or as a result of tranny lunacy in women's sports, right? Women have genital exams. It's called women's health. Number two, men are exposed to genital examinations for sports also. It's called a hernia check. Turn your head and cough. They juggle your onions a little bit. They say you're good. I'm sure women don't give a shit that men have to have their genitals fondled in order to play sports. And why should women give a shit? Why should men give a shit? You want to play sports, you got to go through the exam. Make sure you're fit to play and that the parts you have fit the picture on the wall, the difference between a man and a woman. Now, we're worried about exposing, according to AC, women to genital examinations. But women in sports today are exposed to male genitals when trannies wag their balls and their dicks at them in locker rooms. And that does happen. Yes, indeed. And it upsets women. It disgusts a lot of women. It freaks them out. They don't like seeing it. I don't blame them. I wouldn't want some freak fruit salad guy wagging his dick at me either. Now, I think that women will like knowing that any fake women that are trying to infiltrate their sports, steal their victories, and nullify their efforts are removed. I think they'd be willing to go through peek in my pants to prove it. But you know what would be even more effective? A birth certificate. Maybe birth certificates that are done in 2023 forward are going to be non-trustworthy. But if you look at a birth certificate from 15, 20, 25 years ago, it's going to say male or female on it. Now, what's killing me is, we should be able to pick our gender. Okay, put down there on a birth certificate, what do you identify as? Well, a baby can't identify anything. Put down there penis or vagina and a check mark. You can decide later what you want to be, but you're born with one or the other. Ridiculous, man. And also, we're told by the feminists that, professional women, We don't need a man, right? Why do women and women's sports need men? You don't. It's not women's sports. I don't understand why these, these feminists out here, these cock haters, are allowing cocks into their world. Very interesting to me. Now, the other day, and I can't remember if I touched on this or not because I've had this throat thing, we had Congressman McHenry, who is the Speaker of the House pro temporary, whilst they were trying to decide what to do about the outgoing McCarthy and the Republican Party. He retired. He's going to retire. Now, Kevin McCarthy himself, at the end of this year, will be leaving office. Oh, yeah. He says, quote, I have decided to depart the House at the end of this year to serve America in new ways. Oh, I'm finding it amazing that he's going to be more effective at fucking up the Republican Party from the outside than the inside. I'm sure he's been bought off, or just go away, McCarthy, or he's realized that he's not going to get paid the same amount of money. It's not worth his time anymore to stay in D.C. if he's not the power broker. See, he's not the minority leader, as if when the Democrats are in charge. He was the minority leader. So he was the top dog in the Republican Party, swinging the big hammer, making the big money, getting the big Joe Biden bucks, the gimmies. Well, he's not getting that anymore, so he's decided to leave. I wonder what company that's been buying him off all these years is going to give him a big, fat, cushy job. I don't know. I wonder if it'll be the Satanic Church. That's right, the Satanic Church, folks. I have no knowledge of Kevin McCarthy working for them or being affiliated with them, but they seem to be coming up in the strangest of places. Kind of like Iowa's state capitol. That's right. There is now a satanic holiday display inside the state capitol of the state of Iowa. They claim they have a right to publicly put their stuff out, just like any other religion. Except the only thing Satanism is the proclaimed adversary of all that is good. Because that's what Satan means, adversary. The enemy, folks, of the Constitution is the enemy of the people, is the enemy of law and order, truth and justice. And anything that claims to be satanic claims to be the enemy of. Well, if Satan is the enemy of this country, this government, this Constitution, and the people, anyone that claims affiliation with them deserves to be on the same boat as the communists. They are all a bunch of godless scumbags, and they are the enemy of you and I. Until we, as a nation, gird up our loins, pick up our swords, as you know, if you will, and start fighting these people. And I think the swords that we have are our words and our intellect, folks. Those are our weapons that we should be using. If we don't do that, we're going to continue to hear stories like this. A school took kids on a field trip where they were going to stay overnight at a hotel. And the parents were told boys would be on one floor, girls would be on another. Okay, no problem. Kids go, and guess what? They stick a trans boy in with a girl in the same bed as her. The boy who was pretending to be a girl, who claimed to be a girl, was from a different school and was in stealth mode. That's literally in a stealth mode. No one was supposed to know. Teachers weren't supposed to say anything, except this fruitcake decided to share the information with the girl he was going to sleep with. Well, the little girl was disgusted. 11-year-old girl, folks. That's who these Satanist scumbag, Democrat, anti-American types are. They want to divide us all and fight. Fight, fight, fight. Folks, you can't be friends with evil. You can't shake hands with evil. You can't get along with evil. You can't work with evil. Evil is bad. Let us continue. Speaking of evil, Zelensky didn't get what he wanted. The Republicans were supposed to have a meetup on Zoom with Zelensky. Well, the Republicans actually walked out of this meeting. That's right. Volodymyr Zelensky, who I call Voldemort, was going to try and get $60 billion in emergency aid from the United States of America today. 60 billion. He was set to have that meeting. Did you catch that? After losing 500,000 soldiers in a year, losing every major battle, ultimately, the pipsqueak NATO puppet leader wants $60 billion. You think he's going to use that for good or evil? How many times, how much do we have to hear about all the theft, corruption, and misuse and misallocation and lack of accounting for all the funding that has already been sent? Approximately double what he was going to get in one fucking day, 60 billion. And you know why the Republicans walked out of the meeting? Because they didn't get border security. I'll tell you what, folks. What did Trump try putting into border security? $5 billion. And he was working with a lot less than that. For our country, we're going to trade our border security. Supposedly, Biden would step up and do something about it. Well, he didn't. He refused. But would we trade $5 billion to protect ourselves for $60 billion to Ukraine? We have to give 60 to them just to get 6 for ourselves? And there's no guarantee that Biden's administration would actually do their job. There shouldn't be any fucking money for Zelensky anymore, folks. Right? Literally, right? Why send that much money just so they can fully fund their total loss to Russia and their total destruction that America won't even spend on our own infrastructure, our own veterans, and our own national interests? But tell you what, you shut that fucking border off all the way. You tighten it up like a spigot with a giant pipe wrench on it. And I think America should look at Ukraine and say, what can we do to help the people? We'll send money and food, and we will manage it, not the government. The fucking government is so corrupt. It's disgusting. It's hit the fan, folks. It truly has. Do you have any doubts? Now, I started off talking about Jews and Muslims, evil bastards, etc. This idea that you can pick one group out and say 100% of them are bad. When I talk about the bad guys in the world of the Muslims, I talk about the jihadis, the terrorists. Okay, I'm not saying every Muslim is bad. In fact, yeah. Oh, just like black people, I know one. Right. Anyways, the presidents of several colleges, Harvard, MIT, and Penn, they have told Congress that calling for the genocide of Jews does not necessarily, not really, violate the code of conduct for campuses, unless it actually leads to actual genocide. So I guess I can call for violent restoration of the republic, no problem, as long as we don't actually have a violent restoration of the republic. And if we had a violent restoration of the republic, then no one would come after me anyways. So should I be able to call for violent restoration of the republic? And unless it actually happens, I haven't done anything wrong? Circular thinking by these fucking people. What they want to do is encourage pointing to one particular group of people, much like Hitler, and rile up the people so bad, so much, right, that it actually takes hold, and a large section of the population starts going after that group, whether it's Jews or Muslims or Christians or Catholics or Buddhists, it doesn't matter. I would not be happy if they wrestled and wrangled every Muslim in this country and did something or anything with them. That wouldn't make me very happy, because my group could be next. Right? That's the problem with that kind of craziness. But human beings are rational yet irrational, intelligent but ignorant. We are radical as beings, and we are subject to all manner of failure and fallacy and shortcomings. So giving absolute power to a body and incredible amounts of power like the government has, it's always a very dangerous thing. And here we are. We're now seeing the consequences of allowing radicalism into our way of life. We had a great country that wasn't divided. Communists got in and have been dividing it. The evil people have gotten in and begun dividing it. Now we're fighting amongst each other for control and power of a system so that whoever has control and power over that system can hurt others. And that's what's going on, folks. Hell, if I was the benevolent dictator, I'm sure there'd be several groups of people that would find themselves on boats and going far, far away. Now, the left, the political leftists in this country, that is the violent, radical, communist, socialist types, people that if they weren't here in this country, we wouldn't have the problems we have, because we would have a very conservative and constitution-loving and God-fearing country, period. Regardless of whether your God is Allah or your God is the Elohim, or if your God is Jesus and the Almighty, it doesn't matter, right? Everyone would be afraid, oh shit, that you misbehave and you get in trouble for it. Now, that said, red state leaders are now being warned by conservative activists out there, saying that the left-wing riots are going to happen if Trump wins in 2024. I believe I have been saying that for weeks and months now, that if Trump gets in there, we're going to have hell to pay because of this divisiveness, this evil, this bastardization and labeling of certain groups of people. They are going to be attacked, targeted. Now, it doesn't matter, folks. If it's Trump, the left is going to get violent and riot and have BLM fun like 2020. If we, the right wing, lose to leftists, we're going to have the same problem. They will continue to come after us. Maybe not as sharply as if Trump wins, but then again, maybe they will. Maybe they'll say, see, we don't need no stinking constitution. And you guys, you conservative Republican types, you're done. We own this country. And they could come after us violently anyways. What do you think? See, I just have ideas I'm sharing. What you think, the conclusions you come to. If we win, if Trump wins, if conservatism wins, if America wins and says we want to go back towards freedom, back towards liberty, back towards privacy, back towards restricted government, back towards Washington being kept in a tight box, what will your local left-wing activists do? And if Joe Biden's filthy scumbag left-wing Democrat Party wins, what do you think is going to happen? You get to choose for yourself, because only you know you and that 10-mile radius around you. It's crazy. Now, let me tell you what happens when you put yourself in a country full of radical people. Zelensky is the leader of one such country, Ukraine. And he went after anyone who criticized him in politics, in the media, in the church, and even in the military. Anyone dared come up against him. Done. Either arrested, imprisoned, property and wealth confiscated, and fired. Now, the head of the military, the commander-in-chief, which is distinct and separate from the president or whatever the fuck Zelensky is. His name was Zelensky. The people want Zelensky to be the leader of the country. They're tired of Zelensky. So we have a Zelensky versus Zelensky issue developing in Ukraine. Infighting, right? Because Zelensky, El Presidente, wants to give orders directing battlefield operations. I tell you what, folks, sounds a lot like Hitler trying to lose the war. But I want you to be prepared for the assassinations that may be coming. I think the next step, the next development with these clowns is they're going to try and control what is left of Ukraine. As they're getting their asses kicked on the front lines by Russia, they're going to lose those territories, which have already been lost, and they're going to have to pull back to Kiev and start assassinating and killing each other as if they're a bunch of Jacobites in France in the early 1800s, attacking themselves, trying to control that country. Do we want to send another American dollar over there, much less 60 billion of them, so they can fight it out amongst themselves to see who's going to suck up to the U.S.? We got some trouble, folks. Some big trouble brewing. Our country, around the world, big, big trouble. And here's another one, another giant failure. In Dublin, Ireland, the city council has voted to fly the Palestinian flag for 7 days over their city hall. Since when is terrorism to be honored? I suppose all terror groups can now make this demand of all governments everywhere. It's just for 7 days. Remember when BLM demanded people bend the knee to them? Bunch of fucking people walked up and got down on one knee and put their hands on their other knee in form of prayer before black people because, they were ashamed of themselves for being white. Fuck that. Putting the flag up is the same as bending the knee, folks. I suppose the anti-Jew sentiment over there in Ireland is now allowed to a place in free speech, right? It's going all around the world. Except, hey, folks, free speech isn't actually free, or free speech isn't everywhere. And any speech is now going to be government sanctioned. All speech. Display of terrorist symbols like the Palestinian Hamas flag. You can threaten government now? Well, only if you're on that side. Now, I need to say this. If your local, state, or national government allows terrors or symbols of terror to be flown and silences opposition speaking like they do in, America, the government is now going after people. Then that government is a terrorist supporter. Never forget that. Anything the government allows means they support it. They are not supporting or allowing free speech, which means they don't support it. In fact, Congresswoman Lee, not Sheila Jackson Lee, the stupidest woman on earth, but another woman who's trying to become her, tried putting down female athlete swimmer, Riley Gaines, by calling her a transphobic person because she doesn't want trans men in women's sports. Well, Riley Gaines told her that she sounded like a misogynist based on her speech. And several minutes later, Ms. Lee in Congress, U.S. Congress, tried having the words of Riley Gaines stricken from the record as if they had never been spoken in Congress because she didn't like the insult of being called a misogynist, which means woman hater. And they told her no. But they're trying to silence us, to strike us from the record. If they can strike someone's words as if they were never spoken, it's not a fucking courtroom. It's Congress. Opinions should be shared. And if these idiot Congress people can insult us, then we can insult them because they deserve it. They are the ones failing, folks. Every leftist idea that has ever been tried is failing. Shit is hit the fan. It's all around us. Take a look outside. See what you think. Folks, chance favors the prepared mind. And I'm now going to save my voice and give it a break. And I'll see you 0dark30 tomorrow. Thank you again for all your support, letters of support, concern, worry, etc. I'm fine. I want you prepared and sharing everything you know with people you know. Email, text, phone call. Tell people to wake up. What I shared with you here is just a small piece of what I've been looking at today. and every day. And I know you're taking a look around too. Godspeed to you all. Semper Fi.